Nathan Beats.
What's up, guys? This your boy Mr. I-240. I'm back with another video. Hey, I want to thank y'all for what the last John did. They doing the clown. You know what I'm saying? Doing pretty good. Not the view. I'm not getting the views like I want, but it's baby steps and taking small steps. We all know we on the road to 800 subscribers. So the next official episode will be the rivalry of Sting versus Ric Flair for the 800 subscribers. And Kofa Mania will be the 900 subscribers episode. So if you want them episodes to come up and get them bangers up, hey, hit that notification, hit the comment, hit the notification button, and hit that like button. Let's get them subscribers up so you roll to 1,000. And I'm trying to get this page monetized. You know what I'm saying? And hey, with that being said, before we get into this video, let's stop right here. I gotta give it up to the Most Highly Powered. Y'all call him Lord Jesus Christ, Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? If it weren't for him, it won't be no me, won't be no page, won't be no y'all. Y'all know how we do this episode, you know what I'm saying? The last episode was good and personal because, like I told y'all, we got the economy crashing, wars coming. You know what I'm saying? We just had a hurricane in Jamaica and Houston. You know what I'm saying? So the world is ending, so I'm just trying to get y'all personal content and fun content at the same time before the world ends, because we don't know the day, we don't know the hour, but stuff is ready to hit the fan because you got the surrounding countries testing missiles. They got their people here, and they ready to lock and load. You know what I'm saying? So we might be in the modern day middle life evil Bible time, and we might not see each other no more unless we on the street and trying to struggle and survive for food. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, today's episode is about the ladies' man, and I ain't talking about Leon Phelps on Saturday Night Live. The Ravishing One, Rick Rude. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about the life and career that he had and stuff going on like that. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let's get into today's episode. So like I just said, today's episode is about my main man, Ravishing Rick Rude, the ladies' man. He had the you know what I'm saying, the promo, the charisma, the swagger to be the top guy. You know what I'm saying? The ladies loved him. Mainstream TV loved him. You know what I'm saying? He had that star appeal look. You know what I'm saying? To be the face of the company that led him to the 90s. And he had the sexy appeal look, pause, for the ladies. You know what I'm saying? Because he was a charismatic, charming guy. So, with that being said, let's get into it right here. His early career from 1982 to 1984. After graduating from Anacortes Ramsey Community College with a degree in physical education, Rick Rude was a bouncer, and for a short period of time, he later did a small stint in an arm wrestling contest. But he was first to become known to the world of professional wrestling at the time. He was a bouncer. Rude trained with wrestlers he trained to be a wrestler under Eddie Sharkey, the same trainer responsible training for other wrestling stars like Bob Backlund, Road Warriors, Sean Waltman, Austin Aries, Eric Rowan of the Wide Six, or Six. I thought it was Six, but Six. He began wrestling in 1982 as Ricky Rude, R-O-O-D, as a babyface jobber. Rude lost his TV debut against Jose LeDuc on November 6, 1982, on the episode of Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. He started with Vancouver NWA Championship, where he started with Vancouver NWA All-Star Wrestling before moving on to compete for Georgia Championship Wrestling, GCW, and later the Memphis-based Memphis Continental Wrestling Association, TWA. Rude debuted on an episode of World Championship Wrestling, defeating Pat Rose with a drop kick. But that was some basic finishes back in the day, dog. I'm sorry. 80s wrestling, it wasn't trash, but it wasn't great. Because your highlight finisher was the elbow drop from Randy Savage and the DDT from Jake the Snake. I'm sorry. But he defeated Pat Rose with a drop kick. Gordon Solie interviewed interviewed Rude the following week. Rude discussing transition from arm wrestling to professional wrestling, dropping weight to increase his speed. He returned to Memphis in 1984. This time he was the Ravishing Rick Rude, an overconfident, arrogant heel managed by Jimmy Hart. Rude finished with Jerry Lawler and later his former partner King Kong Bundy. He later debuted in WCCW in a match against Kamala that he lost. Then he went on to NWA to affiliate Jim Crockett Promotions, where he and a variety of tag team partners were feuded with the Road Warriors. Then we got his 1984-1985 championship wrestling from Florida. Rude was hired from Championship Wrestling from Florida, CW of course, in December 1984, where he was managed by Percy Pringle, aka Paul Bear. He defeated Pease Watley for the NWA Florida Southern Heavyweight Championship on January 16, 1985. And then he lost it to Brian Blair on April 10, 1985. He captured the championship again when he defeated Mike Graham in the finals of the Southern title tournament. He held the belt until October 2nd of that year when he dropped the belt to Woohoo. He dropped it to Woohoo McDaniel, who was booking Florida during this time. He was booking for the company. The guy he defeated. While teaming with Jesse Barr, he won the NWA Florida United States Tag Team Championship on April 16, 1985. He feuded with Billy Jack Haynes and Woohoo McDaniels over the belts, losing the straps to McDaniel and Haynes on July 9th, 1985. Then of course we got WCCW. I got it wrong in Dunk the Clown episode last time. He defeated this World Class Championship Wrestling from 1985-1986. Debuting on October 18, 1985, Rude jumped to World Class Championship Wrestling along with Paul Bear, where he feuded with Kevin Von Erich and Chris Adams. During his time for WCCW, Rude captured the NWA American Heavyweight Championship on November 4th, 1995. However, WCCW withdrew from NWA on February 20, 1986 and changed its name to World Class Wrestling Association. The NWA Championship was renamed the WCWA World Heavyweight Championship, while Rude was still holding the title. As a result of that, Rude became the promotion's first world champion after losing the title to Chris Adams in July 1986. He fired Paul Bear, Percy Pringle, and briefly replaced him with his sister Raven. He formed a short-lived tag team with Dingo Warrior, but the Warrior turned on him and became a face. So during his time in WCCW, he faced it Warrior, Kevin Von Erich, The Missing Link, Kamala, and Bruiser Brody. Y'all know how Bruiser Brody is. He was crazy as hell. And he didn't even do drugs. He was just crazy without the drugs or the crack rock. You know, that's why I'm going to do an episode on him one day. Okay. Now we have the WWF World Wrestling Federation, where, here we go, Rude made his World Wrestling Federation debut on Superstars of Wrestling, July 15, 1987, to the newest edition of Bobby Heenan and the Family. His first major feud in the WWF was with Heenan former muscle-bound charge, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. I feel like he should have became champion at that age because he used to give Hogan that work. But you know, Hogan wanted to get all this shine. Sorry. Who Heenan had dropped after Rude joined the family. Their feud culminated in Rude defeating Orndorff on November 24th at the Madison Square Garden. He would kickstart 1988 by challenging Hulk Hogan for the World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship on July 9th at the Boston Garden, but he failed to win the title before starting one of his most famous feuds with Jake the Snake. Now this was during a time, I think he involved Jake the Snake wife And Jake was like, "It's a bad mistake to take your wife on the road with you because the boys was being the boys, because she knew some of the women, she knew some of the guys' wives, and the guys were cheating on their girls. Then she looked at Jake like Jake would look like he could say something. He don't look like a rat in front of his boys. If he don't say nothing, he don't look like he cheating on his wife. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna mention it here. But it did kick out one of his famous feuds with Jake the Snake. Rude had a title before starting one of his most infamous feuds with Jake Roberts. Rude had routine where before the match he would make a show of removing his robe, likely inspired by the Memphis own Austin Idol. This robing routine. Right, and so the male crowd calling them sweat hogs, fat, out of shape. See right here. And males in the crowd usually calling them fat, out of shape sweat hogs. And from their hometowns, and after his victories, he would kiss a woman who he selected from the audience. And one of Rude's trademarks was his my boy had some fire airbrush tights in that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure they're gonna mention the stuff with his wife on it that he wore during his matches. And in the Roberts angle, Rude tried to get Roberts' real life wife Cheryl to participate, though not knowing when he chose her, she was in fact Jake's wife. That was the angle. After Mrs. Roberts rejected him and revealed who she was there to see, Rude became very angry. After she slapped him, according to Jake, busting his eardrum, he grabbed her wrist and berated her on the microphone when Jake Roberts ran from the dressing room to make the save. To retaliate a few days later, Rude came to the ring with likeness of Cheryl Stench in front of his tights. A furious Roberts charged to the ring and stripped Rude, appearing to television viewers to leave him naked, as indicated by a black spot censoring Rude's private area. Although the live audience actually saw him strip into a G-string that was made feel like he was naked. Through mid-1988, Rude continued to wear a second pair of tights under one he wore under the ring. During his match against Junkyard Dog for the first SummerSlam, during the match, Rude had JYD on his back and climbed to the top rope. While there, he pulled down his tights to reveal a second with Cheryl Roberts printed on them. After hitting Dog with a flying fist, he was attacked by Roberts, who had seen the actions from the dressing room. Roberts' attack on Rude caused JYD to be disqualified, giving Rude the win. So he got the cheap win because he knew Jake was going to come out. Rude lost to Roberts in a Rude Awakening versus DDT match. Really? Okay. I wonder how that. So if I hit my special, you lose. I guess at that time in the 80s, it was unique, which I want to do. So, like I said, they had a DDT match on October 24th at the Madison Square Garden. Rude feud with Roberts came to a conclusion when Roberts pinned him with the following DDT at the 1988 Survivor Series. Then we were moving on. My boy got his big break and his shine in the WWE. Rude's next feud was the Ultimate Warrior, began in January 1989. This when Warrior had beat Honky Tonk Man in about 5 seconds for the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam. I think it was about to be Brutus Briefcase, but I think he had got hurt or something like that, car wreck. So Warrior took his place, and Warrior had his big buzz. So their feud began in January 1989 with the 1989 Royal Rumble in a superposed down that ended with Rude attacking Warrior with a metal pose bar, just a metal bar. With the help of Heenan, Rude won the WWF Intercontinental Championship from Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 5. This is when Warrior was going for the press slam by the ropes. I think Rude dragged Warrior down, or Rick Rude reversed it, got the cover while Bobby Heenan was holding down his feet. But before dropping it back to Warrior at SummerSlam that same year, due to a large part interference from Roddy Piper, Rude then feuded with Piper, which led to a conflict between their respective teams at the 1989 Survivor Series, which both men brawled to a double countout. Rude will go on to have many matches with Piper, including a steel cage match December 28th at Madison Square Garden, losing majority of them because they weren't gonna let Piper lose like that. Losing majority of them. Yeah, he lost majority of the matches. Before having a brief program with Jimmy Fly Snuka getting the win over him at WrestleMania 6. Yeah, WrestleMania 6. Rude resumed his conflict with the Ultimate Warrior in the summer of 1990. So we all know Ultimate Warrior had beat Hulk Hogan in the double title match at WrestleMania. So Hogan can go off to Hollywood and just do his stuff. So Warrior had carried on. So he resumed his feud with Warrior in the summer of 1990 after Warrior had won the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. Rude began Regis training in preparation for the Warrior and took it more serious approach by neglecting women and cutting his hair. He came with a new style. He came with a new style in the 90s. A style he would maintain for the rest of his career. The feud came to a conclusion in a steel cage match wherein Rude was defeated by Ultimate Warrior. Next, he was scheduled to feud with Big Boss Man. When it had started, Rude manager Bobby Heenan started making the grating comments about Big Boss Man mother. Rude would later back up the statements and call out the Boss Man. Rude was scheduled to be a part of the team called the Natural Disasters at the Survivor Series, consisting of Earthquake, Dino Bravo, and the Barbarian against Hulk Hogan and Boss Man team, but were replaced by Haku. He was suspended indefinitely by Jack Tunney. Tunney explained that Rude comments towards the Boss Man were the reason for his suspension, and Bobby Heenan was obligated to wrestle the Boss Man in his place. In reality, Rude had a dispute with WWF owner Vince McMahon that led to him leaving the company. Damn. But everybody want their smoke with Vince. Hey, y'all let me know what happened between him and Vince in 1991. I would love to see that feud him and Boss Man finish it up. 1991 Freelance. So, after leaving the WWF, Rude attempted to join Herb Abrams, the UWF. Still under contract with WWF, his former company sent a cease and desist order that prevented Rude from appearing on UWF television. He would not wrestle again until May 18, 1991, where he appeared at TWA Spring Spectacular 2 event held by the Tri-State Wrestling Alliance in Philadelphia. He faced Paul Orndorff and lost by disqualification. 2 months later, he joined All Japan Wrestling for their Summer Action Series, making his initial appearance July 16th at a show in Japan. I can't pronounce the part of Japan. His first match on the tour, he teamed up with Johnny Ace to defeat Billy Black and Joel Denton. In single matches, Warrior was undefeated, beating, I can't pronounce this dude's name, and Akara Toa. His final appearance came on July 19th, where he teamed up with Johnny Ace in a losing effort. That's Johnny Laurinaitis. In a losing effort to Dan Spivey and Stan Hansen. Rude also appeared in an international world-class championship wrestling where he had confrontation with the Honky Tonk Man. Then, of course, 1991, he signed with WCW. So, the Dangerous Alliance in the United States Heavyweight Champion. Okay, here we go. After spending a year wrestling on select shows on the independent circuit, as well as July tour in Japan, Rude returned to WCW, which he had originally been JCP prior to that, being sold to Ted Turner in the late 1988. He returned under the mask, the WCW Phantom, at Halloween Havoc on October 27, 1991. Unmasking himself later that night, he led the Dangerous Alliance, consisting of himself of Paul Heyman, Medusa, Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton, Larry Sabisco, and Stunning Steve. So on November 19, 1991, he defeated Sting for the United States Heavyweight Championship and engaged in number high profile feuds. including the one with Ricky Steamboat. At one point during the feud, Steamboat suffered a kayfabe broken nose in a gang attack. Then in 1992, him and Medusa left the Dangerous Alliance and feuded with Nakia Koloff. Rude challenged the reigning World Heavyweight Champion Ron Simmons on several occasions but failed to win the title. But in December 1992, Rude suffered a legitimate neck injury and was forced to forfeit the United States, thus ending his reign of nearly 14 months. A reign that still stands today as the second longest reign in almost 40-year history of the title. Rude returned alone in April in 1993 and tried to reclaim the title from Dustin Rhodes, who had won it while he was injured. The title was eventually held up after several controversial finishes matches between the two. After a 30-minute Iron Man match ended in 1-1 draw at Beach Blast on July 18th. A best-of-3 series was set between the two on Saturday night. Rude won the first match August 28th, but lost to Rhodes twice on September 4th and 11th, losing his chance of regaining the United States Heavyweight Championship. Then, of course, 1993-1994. Rude switched his sights on the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, making his attentions on August 28th, 1993. When he was against on returning WCW star Ric Flair. You know, Ric Flair had left WWF by 93 because Vince was like, yo, look, I'm giving up these young guys, and I'm just going to put you on the mid-card, and he let Ric Flair go. So, he appeared on Ric Flair, a Flair for Gold talk segment. But this one he was flirting with Fifi, and he attacked Ric Flair and hit him with the Rude Awakening on the float. It really wanted the float, but he was just mad because Fifi didn't want to give him that booty. You know how they go. So, Rude defeated Flair for the title in September 1993 at Fall Brawl. As WCW had recently withdrawn from the NWA, WCW lost the rights to continue using NWA World Heavyweight Championship. WCW created their own championship, dubbing it the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, which Rude lost to Hiroshi Hayes on March 16, 1994. In Tokyo, Rude regained the title just 8 days later in Japan after dropping the title to Sting April 17th at Spring Stampede. So, Rude and Sting, he put Rude pinned Sting May 1st at Wrestling Dakana in China to become the 3-time champion. But, however, Rick Rude injured his back during the match. So, right here, see, the difference we got on Sting is right here. While upon receiving a suicide dive at ringside, he landed on the corner of the rise platform surrounding the ring, unable to wrestle. He was stripped of the title, which the storyline excused that he was found to have used the title belt as a weapon in the course of the match. Rude had retired shortly after. So, the reason I'm pissed off and mad about Sting, he getting on Seth Rollins for ending his career. Well, almost ending his career. He came back. You know what I'm saying? Sting was having major matches in AEW, doing high flying moves. He retired on top. Rick Rude didn't get a chance to do that. You in his career. Now I don't know if it was a miscommunication between Rick Rude or Sting, but y'all remember Sting did the suicide dive, and Rick Rude back was built up like a pretzel. And he had to retire after that. I'm just saying, dog. You can't get mad for Seth Rollins if you made a mistake. Seth Rollins didn't mean to hurt you. I'm pretty sure you didn't mean to hurt goddamn Rick Rude. But you can't hold grudges if you ended somebody's career and he almost ended your career. At least you came back 4 or 5 years later with the nutrition and the research we got in this era. He didn't get a chance to do that. It's not fair. So y'all remember when Sting came out on that celebration of Monday Night Raw? That man ignored Seth Rollins like he was trash. He didn't even want to shake the main hand. This was at the point that nobody didn't trust Seth Rollins. Even Seth said that, and you know that match with Cody, and proved that you can trust Seth Rollins with your body. So I'm pretty sure they left a bad taste in Seth Rollins' rap. Like, damn, somebody I looked up to, mad at me because I tried not to hurt him. But you injured Rick Rude. He didn't get a chance to He retired shortly after the match because his back was that bad. That was like one of my episodes last year. I got on, when I saw the footage, I'm like, how you gonna get mad at Seth Rollins for doing what he did? And you did the same thing 20-some years prior to that. You know what I'm saying? Mistakes happen, but come on now. Spade is spade. I'm sorry. Back to the video. So, while he retired, he went to Extreme Championship Wrestling in 1997. Rude collected a London's Lord insurance policy and did not appear in wrestling. So basically, we get money for his injury. He did not appear in wrestling until January 1997, where he joined ECW Championship Wrestling, where he was a masked man. Rude debuted at House Party, declaring that his New Year's resolution was to F with the franchise Shane Douglas. Rude went on to repeatedly harass Douglas, at one point spanking Douglas' valet Francine doing Cross the Line again. He eventually unmasked himself and became a color commentator before later aligning himself for a short time period with Shane Douglas in the Triple Threat stable, which consists of Chris Candido and Bam Bam Bigelow. In the main event of Heatwave, Rude made a one-off return into the ring at a six-man tag match where he partnered with ECW Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman to face Jerry Lawler and ECW star Rob Van Dam. This one, WWE and ECW were doing their cross promotion stuff back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So only to portray Dreamer and the Sandman during the ECW versus USWA WWF intercompany competition. Rude helped Lawler win his matches against Dreamer and the Sandman. So later on, 1997. Well, mid-1997. On August 11, 1997, Rick Rude returned to the WWF as an insurance policy of the group that will become known as DX. Shawn Michaels and Triple H in China. The Generation X was the first used on October 13, 1997. As a member of DX, Rude never wrestled, but was staying ringside during the group's matches. A few days later, after a Montreal screw job, Rude once again left WWF. According to Bret Hart, Rude stayed in the locker room doing Bret conversation with Vince McMahon after the match in Montreal. Which Bret gave Vince that two piece in the biscuit. And Bret didn't want to leave the company, but Vince was like, I can't pay you, dog. So he knew he could get a better deal at WCW. And later called Eric Bischoff, informing Bischoff that what happened was in effect real. Rude was not signed to a full contract in WWF, and was instead performing on pay-per-views basis. Rude was able to negotiate a deal with Bischoff in WCW, in a large part due to his anger over the Montreal screw job. So him and Bret was probably close, like, but I can't do this because they're like the devil sign. But they were probably close like this, like brothers. So here we go. Rude, WCW. Rude appeared. He returned to WCW. Rude appeared on both WWF Raw and Monday Nitro at the same night. A mustache Rude appeared on Nitro, which was live, and proceeded to criticize Vince McMahon, Shawn Michaels, and DX, calling the company the Titanic, a reference to Titan Sports, as WWF partner company was known as they sinking ship. And an hour later, Raw's War, which had been taped the 6 days earlier, Rude then appeared with a full beard he had been spotting his last few weeks in WWF. Rude also appeared on ECW Hardcore TV during the weekend of November 14th and November 16th. The show was syndicated differently depending on the market. Rude was still making ECW appearances while he was in the Generation X at WWF, and ECW often cooperated in the terms of the talent. So, in the meanwhile, in WCW, Rick Rude became a member of the New World Order, managing his best friend, Kurt Hennig. Rude became the first wrestler to be a part of the two most organized group, both DX and NWO. When the NWO split up, Hennig and Rude initially decided with NWO Wolfpack during May 1998. But their time with the Red and Black was very brief at the Great American Bash, as they turned on fellow Wolfpack member Conan by attacking him after he lost to then undefeated Bill Goldberg, resulting in Hennig and Rude both joining NWO Hollywood instead by late 1998. But both Rude and Hennig was off WCW television due to injuries. Hennig had a nagging leg injury, and Rude thought to have had ball cancer, which later turned out to experimental technical. I don't know how to spell it, but Hennig returned to the NWO from his injury at Starrcade without Rude, who was still unable to appear on TV and was not included in the NWO reunion that happened in January 1999. Rick Rude officially left WCW by April 1999. His last appearance on the coming April 5th, 1995 edition of Monday Nitro Backstage Blast. You know what I'm saying? So, shortly after that, Rude was found unconscious by his wife. He died on the morning of April 20th, 1999 at the age of 40, which he suffered from heart failure, and also autopsy reported that he died from an overdose of mixed medication. At the time of death, Rude was training for the effects of grandma, I can't pronounce it, and narcolepsy prevention drugs may have contributed to his death. Whew. Right there, we gotta be careful with that medicine these doctors be giving us, man. For real. That's why, man, everybody trying to do these natural herbs where sea moss, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm trying to go on the route, because, man, shit, these doctors don't know what the hell they be giving us. They be like, hey, man, here, just take this, it's gonna work. So sometimes you gotta take it in your own hands, take care of your body, take care of yourself. Like Dana White said, I take care of my broken leg, elbow, and all that. But if I could take goddamn that real stuff to try to keep myself from getting cancer or keep myself alive for a minute, that's just what I'm gonna do. So that was a sad way to go out, you know what I'm saying? He had a great career. He was legendary, you know what I'm saying? He was one of the greatest wrestlers. I feel like they didn't get that push and that shine, and his career was short too soon, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta think about that too. But he did accomplish a lot in his career. You know what I'm saying? Where he was NWA Southern Heavyweight Champion, NWA United States Tag Team Champion, NWA AWA Southern Heavyweight Champion, they Southern Tag Team Champion. Then went to Jim Crockett, where he became the International World Heavyweight Champion, United States Champion, and a World Tag Team Champion. Of course, he was in Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame in 2022. Then by Pro Wrestling Illustrated, come on, boy, was so cold. He was the most hated wrestler of 1992. He was ranked number 4 out of 500, the best wrestler in 1992. In 2003, he was ranked 57 out of 500. Then he went to World Class Championship Wrestling and World Class Wrestling Association, where he became the heavyweight champion, television champion. Then he became the heavyweight champion. Then he went to WWF, became the Intercontinental Champion, Hall of Fame in 2017, was inducted by his son. He won a 20-man battle royal in 1988 and one-time Slammy Award winner in the Jesse Body Ventura Award. Then the Wrestling Observer News said he was the best hitter in 1992, most unimproved. Damn. So that boy was slacking in 93. So he accomplished a lot. He did a lot in his career. Life was cut short, but he was legendary. You know what I'm saying? Little fun facts about my boy. He retired because of the suicide dive Sting. Like I just said a while ago, Sting, I hope you forgave Seth Rollins because you're being hypocritical. Because you ended Rick Rude career and he didn't even get a chance to bounce. You Daniel Bryan, Edge got a chance to do stuff that guys didn't do. And that's in on their own terms. So hopefully you forgave stuff and stop holding a grudge. You know what I'm saying? But he was supposed to have a match with Vader in '93 at Super Brawl, but it had got canceled because Rick Rude had got hurt. You know what I'm saying? Him and Kevin Nash had heat for some reason. So y'all let me know in the comments. But he did face some legendary opponents, like I said earlier. I didn't do the comments, but he fought Warrior. He fought Dingo Warrior, Kevin Von Erich, Missing Link, Kamala, Bruiser Brody. Then, of course, on the WWF tip, he fought Dusty Rhodes, Jake Roberts, Ultimate Warrior, Hercules, Paul Roma, and Hulk Hogan. And he was supposed to fight Boss Man. Then, of course, WCW, he fought Ric Flair, Sting, Tom Zark, Big Josh Warrior, and the Royal Warrior Hawk. But y'all, with that being said, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. The next episode will be my main man, Mississippi Finest, Kamala. I love y'all. I'm out. Peace.
Nathan Beats.